So, in order to start this course on freedom, first we need to know, well, where did freedom go? How did we lose it? And if you think back to your childhood or just watching kids in the mall or kids on a playground, and you can see how free they are, right? The parents can barely control them sometimes. They rarely listen. They're just off doing their own thing, and they're really having a good time. And that's really true freedom. So, how did we lose it? Where did we lose our freedom? And freedom's been lost in little bits and pieces throughout our entire life. So you're watching those kids, and next time you're in a park or somewhere where you see a lot of little kids playing, watch them and see how free they are and see how much you have lost of that freedom. So where did it go? First, we were confined by a lot of routines. Think about school. You had to get up, you had to go to school at a certain time, you had to, walk in line, you had to follow the teacher's instructions, you had to raise your hand to go to the bathroom, raise your hand to ask a question. Everything became a routine of what you had to do, and it became set by rules. So just think all through your childhood how that was drummed into your head. Your parents had rules for you, right? You had rules about what time you needed to come into the house, or rules about how you had to behave in the house, or rules about cleaning up your room. And then you had routines of, getting ready for bed at a certain time every night, or taking your bath at a certain time, brushing your teeth. There was all these things that seemed, innocent and were certainly there for your safety, but at the same time, they were taking away your freedoms. So think back to those kids on the playground that hadn't learned to listen to their parents yet and hadn't learned what those rules were and really didn't care how free they were. So yes, those rules and those routines were there for our safety, but they also took away our freedom. And then as we got older, we started to get confined by our responsibilities, right? Once you first had a job, you had to be responsible with your money. You had to be able to take care of, your car. You had to take care of your own clothes. You had to start paying your own bills. And then as you got older and you had a family, you had a whole new set of responsibilities, and you had career responsibilities. So all those things kept building up, and they kept restricting our freedom. There was things you had to do now, regardless. You had to go to work every single day. When you came home from work, you probably had a whole bunch of household responsibilities, and your weekends were taken up now with chores and errands, making sure there's food on the table. All of that restricted our freedom. And then layer on it one more, and that's those social norms that you had to behave in a certain way to be considered respectable or to be considered, a good parent or a good brother or sister. There's all these social norms that were put on you. In the workplace, think about it, how you had to behave a certain way. You certainly couldn't be loud, even in your phone conversations with other people. If you were too loud, your coworkers might have complained, or if you were behaving and you're having a little too much fun at work, right? There's definitely norms that say work shouldn't be that much fun. That's certainly changing now, but for our parents and even for us as we first started the workforce, fun was not something that was associated with work. You had to keep your nose down and work hard, hope to climb that corporate ladder. So these are all these norms. And think about it, if you look at this list, they seem simple enough. We gave into them so easily, and we didn't realize how much they were taking away from our life, how much of our freedom was being lost. And social norms is a huge one. It told you how to behave in every situation. And this is what we're going to be talking about a lot when we come to freedom, is the freedom to be you without anyone's permission, without those social norms and those responsibilities pressing down on us. Because maybe there are a different set of rules that we want to employ. Maybe we want to have a different way of approaching our responsibility, and maybe we want to behave in ways that don't quite fit that social norm. And this is a great time in our development right now, because culture is breaking apart and reforming, and all kinds of new social norms are coming up, and we're questioning the way things were always done. And it's starting to become an era where you do have the ability to be yourself without anyone's permission. But because we're so conformed to those rules and those responsibilities, it's hard for us to break out and start to explore this new freedom. So I hope this course will give you a chance to do that. So really keep this in mind, and maybe you want to take a screenshot and print this out, but it's all about being you and forgetting about having anyone's permission, those social norms and those social, desires that have been put on you to behave in a certain way. I want you to break free of that with this course and really start to have some fun and explore your freedoms. So let's move on to the next section.